Well, I thought she had something, and she was so excited about it. I thought, well, I really need to understand why this works. I mean, these kids are learning how to read very young, and kids who are at risk for dyslexia seem to be able to overcome that problem really early and then become proficient readers. So I thought there's something she's doing that's right. I'd like to understand why.
I was a very slow learner, and also dyslexia. My father and his father are dyslexic, and my mother and her mother are dyslexic. So I had it coming in on both sides. So we were really concerned about my learning. And the reading program here was amazing for me. And I went into first grade being very advanced in my reading.
My son was diagnosed with autism at around 2.5. We tried various sorts of approaches to his education as a young preschooler. At that point, his abilities were very lean. I mean, he was nonverbal when he started school. He wasn't reading, even when he started Montessori at a different Montessori school.
I remember when they came here, I didn't expect that they would start learning how to read at, I think they start as young as 3.5. But it was never a struggle that I saw with them. It was something that they did, and they did it easily and with confidence.
What begins with S? Mine was skate. Is he right? Sophia.
Most people seem to have the ABCs as the beginning part of reading, and we start instead with the I Spy game. You must be able to isolate that sound in your mind from all the other sounds you're hearing. So the easiest way to do that is to isolate that first sound of a word. And I think that's one of the hardest things they do at 3, 4 years old, because they're not used to sorting by sound. So if you say, I need something, I'm thinking of something that begins with B, guess what it is? Bed, boat. They're forced to think of things that begin with that letter. Then we just give them a shape for that sound. But what's critical here is that we only give them one shape.
The Sound Shapes reading program, based in Montessori philosophy, has been effective in reducing and even preventing common reading disorders. After introducing individual sounds with objects, the Sound Shapes program slowly introduces greater challenges, but within carefully chosen limits. Using traditional Montessori materials, such as sandpaper letters and movable alphabets, the Sound Shapes program offers a unique 6-step process for teaching reading.
Just use 8 letters at first to be able to manipulate these letters that represent sounds in forming words. They have 8 letters, 7 of which are consonants, 1 is as a vowel. But if we can just say we're going to take just 8 shapes, we can manage 8. And then we can blend them together once they know this first sound. If I want to make cat, now I can use the k that I've learned the shape for that sound, 1. The r or the f, so I can make cat, rat, fat, sat, and all of that. Now I also know everything that goes on in reading. The concept of reading is just to blend sounds, really. But we haven't learned the whole alphabet. We've just got the concept of reading, and we know how to go about it. So now the rest of it's just there as a variation on a theme. If I give you another sound, you can blend it with these words.
That sound?
Cat. Cat. Really cat.
Where's the t? Maybe Jasmine.
I know ta. I know ta.
Specially designed word blankets that isolate sounds in a logical order based on Nancy's research build the child's understanding of how language is constructed. Nancy has been a Montessori teacher for over 30 years, but the Sound Shapes reading program evolved when she traveled to Italy to study Montessori's original approach to reading.
Which are exercises where they go from the known to the one they're practicing, the unknown. She learned about early childhood development and how Montessori developed her materials. And then she spent a year in Italy where she learned Italian language. The letters and the sounds of the language match almost one-to-one. So that's very a regular phonetic structure of the language. She created a system that was logical, but that also recapitulated in her classroom what Montessori had done in her Italian classrooms, that is to create a dyslexic-friendly language. In Italy, dyslexia is rarely diagnosed.
Maybe they can make 8 words here and another 8 words here, so then I have 16 words. You put both blankets together, and exponentially they can make 55 words with these letters.
This is a scientific approach to education. Nancy is just truly a visionary.
She's taken 30 years to develop this and test it in these classrooms, and she's had a remarkable success with all populations of children, even kids who have other reading difficulties, apraxia and autism.
We like to hide. All right, okay, we have one vowel, F.
We did lots of sounding out. They taught me how to sound things out. It wasn't just, well, that's what that word is, just telling me things like that. And it's followed through, throughout the years. I've been a very good reader and also a very good writer.
Can you find out what happens? Go.
The red hen is not in.
As the child progresses through increasing levels of difficulty, the program culminates in specially written phonetic readers that match the child's developmental level.
I'll never forget Sarah's excitement when she came running home to me with a copy of Max the Cat in her hand. Mommy, I can read Max the Cat. And I was like, yay, honey, that's wonderful. That's so exciting. And we always celebrated any of the books, all of the books that came home.
Nancy started working with him early on at small increments of time, and I couldn't believe within the first 3 to 4 months his reading ability with her program. When he's learning to read with sound-shaped letters, you're applying that to different aspects of education, not just reading. I mean, you're going to apply it with spelling and math. It trickles down to everything. He is doing multiplication, division, geography, reading. He's doing everything basically that we were promised that he would probably never do when he was in a public school setting.
Can you find
The Sound Shapes Precision Phonics Reading Program is now available for use at home, in daycare centers, Head Start programs, and other reading programs.
You found it.
For more information, see our website at www.nightingalemontessori.org/SSPP or call 937-767-2204.